Hello, hello. My name is Hannah Ravensland, and welcome to my channel. Up until now, I've only really been doing outfits of the day, which are very fun, but I figured it was maybe time to do something to let you guys know a little bit more about who I am, other than my wardrobe. So I figured I would nominate myself for a About Me tag, just to have some sort of general questions to answer so that you get an idea of who I am and what I do. Oh, I don't want to steal from Graveyard Girl, but we are going to get a little sippy. I'm not going to do her auto. I'm not that bad. But I do enjoy her, so. There's another thing you learned about me. I really like Graveyard Girl. Okay. Next section, appearance. Hair color. Brown. This is my natural color. I have gone through phases of other colors, wild colors. My first one was pink, and then I went bright red, and then I went blue, and then I did blue again in college, and finally purple, I believe. I loved them all. But I think if I could have one of those colors growing out of my head, it would be blue. I feel very comfortable in blue hair. But this is actually grown out from the last time I dyed it, because when I get tired of coloring it, I'm very low maintenance deep down, so I'll enjoy it for a few months, then I just can't deal with it. I always just dye it black. Just cover it in black. And then I just let it grow out, because it blends relatively well with my hair color naturally, so people don't really notice. And there's like points where they're like, oh, your hair's grown out, and then they don't notice. It's like, oh, your hair's grown out. But honestly, a lot of times people ask me, is that your natural color? Because I guess they think I dye it, but no, this is it. And then the next one is eye color, which is brown. I am a matchy person, I suppose. Oh, they have hair length. Why do they need that on a YouTube video? Like, it's here, you know? This is about, like I said, I was growing it out, from the last time I dyed my hair. The reason I'm growing it out was, at the time I had cut the sides, I had done an undercut on each side, and I really liked that, but it became really difficult to maintain, particularly because every time I shaved my head, I would take off a little bit more of the middle until eventually I had pretty much a mohawk, and I was like, wow, I just took off all my hair. Wow. And so I went to the beauty school that I go to because I'm cheap, and I said, give me a short, like a little shaggy pixie cut, which I had never had that short before. And I was so tired of it. Oh God. After a week, I was over it. And I was like, I cut all my hair off. I can't believe it. So this has been growing out for maybe 3 years? 3 years. Yeah. And so, like, it's like my security blanket at this point. I don't really ever want to cut it again. Next one is best feature. Well, that's objective. I mean, subjective. Well, the two that come to mind, because I was recently complimented on them. So, it's coming from someone else's mouth, really, although one of them I entirely agree with. One of them was my hair. I get a lot of compliments on the health of my hair. It's very, very strong hair. Like I said, I've gone through a lot with it in terms of color and in terms of styling. When I curl it, I go really crazy with it. I use a lot of heat. But it's very resilient. It doesn't like to stay styled. This is it. Like, this is what it wants to be. And so it takes a lot to make it do what I want. And it hasn't become damaged yet. Well, of course there's going to be damage when you bleach it, because that's a big deal. But it hasn't become unmanageably damaged. And every time I grow it out, it's just as healthy as it was. And I'm really happy with it. I've always gotten compliments on it. I like my hair. A lot, you know. But the other one that I get a lot of compliments on is my skin, which that one I was sort of surprised to hear, because recently somebody at work said that I had very nice skin. It's clear, I guess, but it is very oily, and I feel it takes a lot to keep it from breaking out. I break out regularly in terms of hormones and weather and whatnot, but it's never a lot. It's always like, I'm a chin zit person, so I'll get those, but, so I never really thought I had great skin because of that. It's like, well, I break out, but I guess everybody does. But it is clear for the most part. So that's always nice to hear when you get a compliment on something you don't think is necessarily your best feature. So now I'm trying to see it as like a nice feature of mine, my skin. So, okay, next one is braces. I guess they're asking if I had braces. I did have braces. I had braces because I had my back teeth were all janky, apparently. And I was supposed to get rubber bands to get my overbite fixed, because I do have a pretty prominent overbite. But I got hit in the jaw by a fellow student in middle school, and the rubber bands on top of the injury would make my jaw lock. Like mid-sentence, you'd see me go to try and unhinge it from itself and be able to talk again. So they stopped. They said, we're going to cause more damage than good. So I still have the overbite. Sadly, I didn't wear my retainer, like many kids don't. And even though my back teeth were the reason I had braces, when they all shifted, now I have a crooked front teeth on my bottom jaw. So not happy about that. But it's just one, and since I still have the overbite, nobody ever sees it. Next one is piercings. Piercings, I'm kind of a baby. Not in terms of the pain. The pain was fine, but I'm more of a tattoo person, which is the next question. Do I have tattoos? I'll show you guys. But I have my ears pierced that I got on my 10th birthday at Claire's, you know, forgive me. And then I got my nose pierced, maybe freshman year of college. I visited home and I had a friend say that this one shop was really good, and I went and said, hey, why not? Why not? So I did it. It's really cute, actually. I'm really happy with it. I'd like to get more piercings, but I just prioritize tattoos, and I feel like they're more of an investment, so one day I'll get more. We'll see. And like I said, tattoos. Ugh. I'm trying to think of the best way to show you guys. I may have to change shirts, but okay. The big one, my favorite, honestly, is this one. It is actually by two artists. Forgive me, I do not remember the name of the first artist. I believe it was Roy. It's one of those where it's either Roy or Ray, but I don't know his last name. He was at a shop that was very close to my boyfriend's house, where I currently live, and we walked by it one day, and I said, does that barber shop have a tattoo place in it? And he said, yeah, that's been there for a while. And I had been wanting to get a tattoo for my 20th birthday, and I said to him, let's go there on my birthday. I didn't do any research. I didn't look up their art. I didn't go in and talk to the guy. I just went in. And every time I tell people that, they freak out, understandably, because that was such a huge risk. But it really worked out. I'm very happy. He did the heart. And then I went to another artist, I believe this year. Yeah, actually, just in April, I think. To get this halo of bones, is what I explained to him. I was like, I want a halo of bones. And his name is Barnsey. He is at Artisan Tattoo and Piercing in, technically they're Garfield, Pennsylvania, which some people say Lawrenceville because they're like right next to each other, but I believe there are 5 artists there. All of them are incredible. All of them. If you are in the Pittsburgh area, I highly recommend them. Highly. So he did the bones, and there are vertebrae and teeth as well. Oh, I love it. It's my absolute favorite tattoo. Absolute favorite. Next one I'll probably say is my little pitchfork. Pitchfork, that's what it is. I got it at actually Artisan's Halloween event, where you come in on October 31st and you pay $31 for a tattoo off of their flash page that's like Halloween themed. And this was my first one from Barnesy, and this is how I met him. And it was the first time I went to the shop, and I just fell in love, and I wouldn't go anywhere else. Okay. These are the 2 complicated ones. I have one on my ankle and one on the back of my neck. Okay. God, I hope this works. Okay. So, there's my ankle. There's my ankle. It is a Pisces / yin yang that I got when I turned 18. And I got that in St. Louis. Again, it was a shop I did no research on. It was just the tattoo shop that I always saw leaving my elementary school on the bus. I'd get on the bus and we'd drive home. And it was in this little strip mall across the street from my grade school. And even in grade school, I was like, I'm gonna go there for my tattoo. And again, I got really lucky. Not as lucky as my heart, because I wanted him to do it as a yin-yang. So the black fish would have a blue eye, and then the blue fish would have a black eye. And he totally didn't do that. He gave the black fish a black eye. And I saw him start, and I was like, well, that's on me forever. So, it could have been worse. But it was a bit of a bummer, my first tattoo, and I didn't get 100% what I wanted. But it was my first tattoo, and a lot of people say, wow, that's not like your aesthetic at all anymore. And I say, you know what, it's not. But that's who I was at the time. Because I've had a few people say, like, well, you can get it covered up. I don't want to do that. It's who I was when I was 18. It's what I wanted at 18, and I'm happy with it. Okay. Okay, here's the hard one. I'm gonna do my best. I hope I don't go out of focus or anything. Okay. So, So, let me show you first, since you probably won't hear me. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. Pretty nice, huh? I wish I had a close-up. If I had the technological advances, I would show you up close. But it is a crescent moon with the ends facing up, and then geometric mandala pattern. That was also by Barnesy. It was the first tattoo that I came in with a vague idea and let the artist do whatever he wanted after. So that was kind of a big deal to me, because I had never trusted somebody that much. I'm really happy with it. It was such like a nerve-wracking thing for me, because I didn't know exactly what I was going to get until he sent me the art and was like, what about this one, what about that one? And he was so patient with me. He's always patient. Took him forever to get this one because I was so indecisive. And I'm just really happy with his work. I don't think I will go to any other shop. I'm definitely open to trying some of the other artists there, but I will not go to another shop. Artisan is the place in Pittsburgh. I almost said St. Louis. That is not the place in St. Louis. Okay. Next one is firsts. Best friend. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay. My first best friend is still my best friend. We met in kindergarten, and we were like go-to. I don't think we were in the same class, so we only saw each other at recess, but we were best friends. And I switched schools a lot because my brother was in a gifted program that only certain schools had in the district. So I had to go with him. And so we would bounce around a lot. So even though I was supposed to go to this middle school, I would go to his middle school because he was in the program. So her and I were in the same district, but because of that, we wouldn't go to the same school. I think. You know, it was some weird thing. But we lost track for a few years. And then in middle school, I went to a summer school, like a fun summer school, where they do that so that you keep the kids busy. You know, it was like grown-up daycare, or relatively grown-up daycare. And I met her there again. We didn't remember each other, but we met again, like the fates aligned, and we became really good friends again. And one day I was hanging out at her house, and her mom comes up with a yearbook from kindergarten, and she says, "Find yourself." So I found myself, and she looked at the picture, and she flipped a couple pages and said, "Do you know who that is?" I said, "No." She said, "That's Brittany. Brittany's my best friend." And I said, "Wow, we went to the same school." And then she went upstairs, and she came back down with a photograph of the two of us in grade school, in kindergarten, holding hands, and like all into each other, like so happy to be friends. And her mom said, "You guys knew each other in kindergarten, and you were best friends back then." So it was just really exciting. I was like, wow, we met again, and it all worked out. So my longest, first, and dearest best friend is Brittany. And she's so funny. And every time I see her in St. Louis, I laugh and laugh, and we just laugh, and we can make each other laugh all day. And I really miss her now. I miss you, Brittany. I'm a little verklempt now. Okay. First award. That's a really good question. Shoot. Okay. The first one that comes to mind, I don't know if it's really the first, but the first one that comes to mind is I came in second place in the spelling bee in grade school. If that wasn't my first award, it was something related to art, because I've been drawing my entire life, and it was probably some sort of drawing contest. I don't know. Something like that. Sorry. Sport. Do I look like I play sports? Probably my first sport. Oh God. I know there was a very brief period in grade school where I went to a cheerleading camp one summer. But I'm gonna tell people my first sport was Taekwondo because I'm a black belt. That's what I'll tell people. That's the ticket. Real holiday. What does that mean? Do they mean a European holiday in terms of a vacation? Because I can't imagine not having a real holiday in terms of celebratory day. Real holiday. Well, my family used to go on road trips when I was a kid. I saw the Badlands and Mount Rushmore and California. I had a lot of really good vacations with my family. Sorry, that's the cat. Let's see. Concert. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one because I like to tell people my first concert was not one of those 90s boy bands that all the girls were into. I was into them, but I never went to see them in concert. So I always feel like I got away with not squandering my first concert experience. But then I tell them that it's Panic at the Disco. I saw Panic at the Disco in concert at the Family Arena in St. Louis. I was in the nosebleed seats. But I was still so excited. I remember I went with my neighbor and other best friend, Allie, and her family. I think it was her mother. And our friend Tori. And Tori's really quiet. And she's kind of reserved, and she's very internal in terms of her emotions. And so I'm sure she was having a blast. Either that or she hated the music, I can't tell. But I was like trying to get her to dance. I was like, Tori, dance! And I'm sure by the end of the night she was like, Hannah, I want to end you. Because I would not leave her alone. Because Allie and I were rocking. We were having a good time. Tori was just like... And I was like, no, Tori! Have a good time! I'm sure she was so over me by the end of the night. Because I was really like ADD into it. So excited. I still love Panic at the Disco. My boyfriend, Mr. Ravensland, gets like... He teases me a lot about it. But I am unapologetically a fan of Panic at the Disco. It's just great. It's just fun. You know? Whatever. Whatever. So, I have a little ways to go here. So hopefully the battery lasts in my camera. Woo. Okay. So, next one is favorites. Favorite film. I'm gonna have to go with Fight Club. Mostly because I watch it probably once a month. I probably watch it once a month with Mr. Ravensland. Because it's his favorite. He just, like, lives by Fight Club. He just loves it. He's getting all of the Fight Club 2 comic books. Like, he's a big Chuck Palahniuk fan. So we watch that all the time. TV show, I'm going to have to go with Adventure Time. Because it's my go-to feel-good thing to throw on in the background. It just makes me happy. Even the sad episodes, it makes me happy. Because it's such a smart cartoon, you know? Color. Black. And I don't want to hear that it's not a color. It's a color. Black. It's what I wear every day. Black. Okay. Song. Song? That's really specific. I'm at a loss. Maybe... Nope. Can't answer that. Restaurant. Restaurant's a good one. Restaurant's a good one. So I told you I'm from St. Louis. And there is a Chinese place in St. Louis that I could live in. It is called Mandarin Garden. Mandarin Gardens? Mandarin Garden. Shit. Mandarin Garden. Got it. And their lunch special. First of all, their food is incredible in general. It's just good. Everything there is good. The people are good. The scenery is good. They have a giant golden Buddha in the corner. Oh, I love it. But there's lunch special. Let me tell you about their lunch special. Mind you, I think their prices went up recently for the first time in like 20 years. Totally deserve it. So I'm guessing it's maybe $6 for a lunch special at this point. You get a cup of soup with all the crispy bits you want. You know, the little like wonton strips. Oh God, don't get me started about those. They're so good. You get a cup of soup. You get a platter like that big, half entree, half rice, and then you get a wonton and a crab rangoon. $6. $6. That's 2 meals, like, in one. And it's delicious. And it's so popular. So, oop. Sorry. Cats are angry that I'm in the middle of their stees here. Sorry. Okay. Next is store. My favorite store. Damn, that's hard. I'll probably say Barnes & Noble because I spend a lot of time there. That's where my boyfriend works. And I just know everybody at his store and I just really like it there. So it's not really about the store itself, it's about the people, because I go there a lot and I know them all and they're all really nice. So I'll say Barnes & Noble. Magazine, I don't read magazines really, so I don't have a favorite. Shoes. I have been living in my Forever 21 double buckle sandals. Really easy. You know, it's been hot because it's summer. And so I've been wearing those every day. Very comfortable. I kind of thought of them as like a, oh, I'll get these because they're cheap and I need sandals kind of thing. But I get a lot of compliments on them. So I think it was a good choice. If it's cooler, you know, I'm a big fan of fall. I want to say I'm a fan of winter, but they are brutal here in Pittsburgh. So sometimes I am. But my favorite boot is my YRU blocks. And they're a really nice platform. Big fan. So comfortable, so light, so easy to wear. So if it's not hot, that's what I wear. Okay, next one. Whoo! Currently feeling. What am I currently feeling? I'm feeling a little nervous because this is my first time doing a video like this, and I'm also worried my camera's gonna die. I'm also a little peeved that these cats won't leave me alone, but I hope they don't disturb the video too much. Single or taken? Taken. I have been with Mr. Ravensland for 3.5 years. Actually, this October it will be 4. So, very happy about that. We're very happy together. I'm very excited to spend the rest of my life together. So, you know, whenever you're ready. Currently eating. I'm not eating anything at the moment, but I do have a big box of, taffy waiting for me downstairs. When Mr. Ravensland's family goes to Ocean City, they always get me a box, which is very nice of them, because I love taffy. Saltwater taffy, oh, it's my jam. I love it. So I'm very excited to be eating that. Listening to. I am not listening to anything. I'm listening to myself. Why would I be listening to something if I'm doing this? That's weird. Thinking about. I'm thinking about how I hope this video does well. And I'm always thinking about my Mr. Ravensland. Watching. I'm not watching anything at the moment. I'm watching a camera. But I was watching the best of Game Grumps animated. I don't play video games, but I really enjoy Game Grumps. I think they're really funny. And they're just, and the animated ones are very clever sometimes. Like they put them in the game. It's something I really like to watch. It's funny and it's easy and, you know, nice to unwind at the end of the day and watch that. Wearing. Well, I can tell you I am wearing my favorite Killstar crop top with this three-eyed Sphinx cat and some jegging shorts. But that's all. That's all. Nothing fancy. Okay. Future. Do I want kids? Maybe. It's not really a priority of mine. We'll get around to it if we get around to it. Probably adoption. Not necessarily because I don't want to be pregnant, but I just think it would do more for the world if I adopted. You know, there's plenty of kids out there who need homes. And when I'm ready, maybe. Want to be married. Immensely. I'm so happy with Mr. Ravensland. I'm very ready to get married. But he's being Mr. Practical and waiting until we have enough money. But deep down I know he's right, so I tease him about it a lot. But really, it would be pretty smart to get our finances in order first. So, I mean, whatever. I guess he's right. but I am very, very anxious for it. Careers in mind. I'm hoping to move up into a design position at either my current job or one maybe off in the future, but right now I'm very happy with the company that I work for, which is actually a really weird feeling. Like I said, I worked retail before, so I always, by the end of it, like resented the company I worked for. But this one I'm really happy. I mean, I'm still relatively new, so that could change, but I'm really a fan of this company so far. It's a small business, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I feel like I'm jumping on just as it's getting into this big expansion. So I'm hoping it works out for me. Okay. Next, where do I want to live? That's an interesting question because as a St. Louis native who has transplanted to Pittsburgh, I still see a lot of enchantment in Pittsburgh. I see the arts and culture kind of community is still big. The theater community is big. There's a lot of great architecture. There's a lot of great museums. I really love the community of artists, small businesses like Poison Apple Print Shop and Artisan Tattoo and Piercing, and all of these really great people and businesses and art. I'm not looking to move anytime soon, but I am committed to a Pittsburgh native. He is born and bred. Well, technically he wasn't born, but he was like out of here for like 6 months and that's it. From 6 months on, he has lived in Pittsburgh. And he's so ready to move. He's so ready to move. And I'm just not. So we have this debate a lot of like, where are we going to live? I don't know. I guess I'm also open to traveling in general. I think we decided in the long run we may end up in the Northwest because he really likes rainy and woodsy, and I think a lot of those areas I'd like to think are close enough to city-ish areas. That would be nice for me. The cat has a moth, so ooh. Sorry about that. But that's in the long run. As of right now, I'm very happy here in Pittsburgh, and we'll see what my career does. Because I would really like to work on my own brand as well of plus size clothes, because that's really important to me. Plus size and body positivity, which will probably be my next video, hopefully. So that is about as far as I want to go in this list, because the rest of it starts to get a little, I was going to say personal, but it's all been kind of personal. A little political? Is that the right word? Maybe. And I don't really want to get into that in my first video. I don't want to rustle anybody's jimmies. So I am going to end it there. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Anyone out there, I really am excited to start this YouTube journey. So I hope you join me. And again, thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again. This is Hannah Ravensland, and